Good morning. This is Jerry, and this is the latest end of the year edition, at least one of them, of my backyard garden project. It's been about 6 months since I've updated this, and I'll explain that in a few minutes, but I wanted to start off on this end. If you remember from the first video that I posted, this is the end that had all the junk and dirt that just kind of flowed down here and buried this whole end. And I've managed to uncover it. It took me about 6 days or so of digging, and you can see that I've begun to transition this up here into something that I can use. I'm keeping this covered so that I can keep some of that dirt dry and still be able to move it out. It's kind of hard to load up somebody's pickup truck with wet dirt and be able to haul very much. It just doesn't work. The drier it is, the more a person can haul off. And I've dug out and gotten rid of probably 30 yards of dirt out of this area. I probably still have another 10 or 15. This is ending up being more than what I originally thought it was, but that's okay. It's just a matter of time. You can see that I've filled in the voids here in this retaining wall, and you can also see that these boards, which I've uncovered that were buried in dirt, are very rotted, and I'm going to have to patch this in. That's why I have these posts here, and I'll shore this up with some pallets in between those. Not much changes here. I'll talk about my fall garden in another video. Part of the issue this year was the gopher really ravaging things, and one of my solutions is to take this pond and fill it in with dirt, and I'll plant some things here. I'll plant some potatoes. He won't be able to get in here. It was also just a good place to put dirt instead of having to worry about hauling that other volume off. I've got some dirt piled here and down here, and that's because I finally went and tore this old retaining wall apart, dug it out, and have fixed it and backfilled it back in. And all this fluff down here was the really sandy, rocky stuff that I can't use for anything. But I leveled this out, and it turned out quite nicely. And I've got some onions planted here. But again, plans are for another video. But my big issue right now, this is Tuesday, December 4th, and we just got done with this weekend of just a huge amount of rain, and this is one of the results. This post was leaning somewhat, when we moved in, and up to those points. We didn't have very much rain last year, hardly any. But this weekend, my opinion was we had more rain, more water than we did all of last winter. And one of the issues with the gopher was I had things planted down here, and I had green beans on this lattice work here, and then I had potatoes here, and then later on I planted corn and squash and some okra, and then up over the rise on this top tier I had cucumbers. Well, the gopher went from ravaging the potatoes to stealing my corn. I would come out here and count the corn, and entire stalks were gone, to the squash, and then down here to the green beans, and then back up to the cucumbers, and then back over here. And he kept burrowing back and forth, and I kept chasing him and trying to trap him or poison him or use smoke bombs to kill him. None of that worked. He's still around. So the result was, with all of his jumping around, is there's likely a good number of voids underneath all of this. So when all this rain hit it, with this post being weak and there being empty spots and that water migrating underground, I've got, from this corner post here, I've got this fissure that's started, and it goes all the way past that post, which is kind of in the middle here of this area, all the way over here to this post. So the corner post right there, past this one all the way to this third post. This is all shifted just since this weekend, and that post has gone forward probably, I'm going to guess, a good inch or so. Now I had a similar problem with this post, and that was my fault. I set it and I just didn't kick it back enough. And so what I ended up doing, but this was all dry, was I ended up digging out behind here from this post all the way to this one, and then digging down behind this post all the way down to the bottom, and then pushing it back, resetting it, and then stabilizing it with this block of concrete. Eventually all the dirt will settle back underneath this and around that post, and as it dries out it'll solidify, and then it'll be okay. But I didn't have that with this one, and I am going to have to now plan to start digging out behind this along the whole length of this and back down to the bottom of that post and see if I can kick it back and salvage it. That's a lot of dirt to move. It's really wet, and I'm kind of wondering whether or not it's just going to collapse or cave in on me as I'm doing it. So I won't know until I start digging, I guess. But so that's been the last 6 months, is chasing that gopher around and fixing these retaining walls, and now trying to salvage this based on the damage done by one gopher and a lack of care of all of this here. As you can see that some of these bottom boards here are rotted away. So that dirt's really pushing, and that gopher would come along like down over this end where there's a gap in between the boards, and he would just push the dirt out as he dug his tunnels. And I would come out here and there'd be huge mounds of dirt just laying there. There's probably several 5-gallon buckets worth. So if you take a void like that and apply it to deep underneath here and let that water migrate down, then that's a recipe for trouble. So anyway, I'll update you as soon as I can make some headway, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.